Hi guys, Assalamualaikum. So welcome to the first video of 7 criteria, and the topic tonight that we'll be discussing is the first rule of 7 criteria, which is new versus old. When do you decide to buy new property? When do you decide to buy old property or subsale? And when do you decide to basically buy lelong? So I think, once you understand the rule and the logic why we do what we do, then it becomes very clear to you, the next time that you are looking to buy a property, should you buy a new property or should you buy a subsale property or should you buy lelong? When do you actually trigger those things? Okay. So without further ado, let's go right to the slides. Right. So like I said, this is part of the 7 criteria, and this is going to be the first video. So essentially, so as I mentioned, this is going to be the first video out of 7, right? We've started with the introduction video, so this is now the first real video out of 7 videos. So if you haven't watched the introduction, please go and watch it so you can understand the context, why we had 7 criteria, why it took us 15 years to develop this, right? And what's the consequences. If you don't follow 7 criteria, you could potentially lose 300k for your next property purchase, negative cash flow 2,000 sebulan, 2,000 per month. But if you follow, then you'll be able to get all the way to 800,000 capital gains less than 10 years, positive cash flow 2,000 per month. So today is really about understanding, if you go to an area, do you buy a new property or do you buy a subsale property? And when do you actually buy lelong, right? So now, to give you a little bit of introduction, so Far Capital, when we started in 2014, we only buy subsale property because at the point of time, all new property is too expensive. The price doesn't make sense, right? So I give you an example, right? I will go to an area whereby the new property is selling for 800,000, then I see subsale going for 400,000. So it doubles. So of course, on those kind of scenario, we'll just buy subsale because it doesn't make sense to buy new property when the premium is too high, right? But since 2018, whereby you have a property market slow down, and therefore the number of people buying property has reduced. And then developers are basically forced to either lower the price point for new property, or for existing property but unsold, they are forced to lower down the price, right? So since 2018, we've been heavily buying primary market, right? So and the real advantage of buying new property here is that normally it's very easy to rent, and the capital gains is typically much better when you enter new property at the right price. And last big advantage here is that new property is very easy to buy with just 1,000 ringgit capital. It's very hard to buy a subsale property with 1,000 ringgit capital. You definitely cannot buy lelong property at 1,000 ringgit capital. So subsale almost impossible, but not impossible. New, easy to buy 1,000 capital. Lelong, impossible, right? Cannot, tak boleh, okay? Cannot be done, right? So that's why today, if you look at what Far Capital is buying today, we only buy new property simply because we can buy property, no capital. Sometimes we get paid to go buy those property. On top of that, it's easy for us to go and rent out. On top of that, because we buy way below market at 40-50%, we often get capital gains upfront, right? So I give you a sense, right? So this is Bangsa South, right? And the property on your left is called Park Residence, and the property on your right is called Pantai Panorama. Both are just next to each other, separated by just one road of 20 meters, right? Distance. So Pantai Panorama here, right? Pantai Panorama here is actually freehold, while Park Residence is actually leasehold, right? So at that point of time, Pantai Panorama was selling for 250, right, for the large size units, and Park Residence was selling for 380,000 for large units. Okay, so fast forward to 10 years, Pantai Panorama went from 250 to 650,000, so not bad, slightly over 100% capital gains, right? But Park Residence went from 380,000 to 1.28 million average in 2019. Okay, so in this particular case, guys, in Kampung Kerinci, those days now it's called Bangsa South, both property, the old and the new, both actually make money. But the new property, despite being leasehold, and the old property, despite being freehold, the new property end up making way better capital gains. It also made way better cash flow. All right. So this is, like I said, the data as of today. You got multiple phases of Kerinci and Bangsa South. If you look at the sub-sale and you look at the rental, you can look at it. It's actually quite substantial, right? Quite substantial. You can see here, Pantai Panorama, hovers at about 650,000, while Park Residences went from 400,000. At the peak, it was selling for 1.5 million, guys. Frigging 1.5 million at the peak. Okay, crazy, right? So you went from 300 over thousand, 1.5 million, right? So that's how crazy it is. So which is why, like I said, if you can buy new property roughly at the same price as per the old property, you want to buy new property all the way. Now, is this a norm or is this the exception, right? So I'm going to give you another area which is not related to Bangsa South, but this is Bon Kiara. And you can see here, for example, on your left, it is new property called Arcoris, very nice property. It was selling for 900 ringgit per square foot a couple of years ago. Today went up to about 1,100 ringgit per square foot, right? And the rental for a two-bedroom here is 4,500 to 5,000 actually transacted rental, and there's more 10 units transacted at 4,500 onwards for just two bedroom. While you can see here Mont Kiara Pines, which is a 20-year-old something condo, a couple of years ago was selling at 600 ringgit per square foot. Today selling roughly about that, 650 ringgit per square foot, but the rental is only 2,005. So you can see it here, guys. Like I said, when you buy new property at the right price, your rental is normally far superior. Your capital gains can be better to compared to the old property. So what about other areas? All right, what about other areas? So again, this is basically Mont Kiara. Again, we're comparing Pines and Arcoris. You look at the sub-sale and you look at the rental. There's a stark difference between the rental and the sub-sale. Now, then we go to PJ pula, right? So this PJ is a condo called, on the left is called Five Stones, right? And the one on the right is called Jasmine Towers, right? So today, when you look at the price point from 5 years ago up until 2016, sorry, up until now. In 2016, Amira was going for about 480 ringgit per square foot. Today is about 800 ringgit per square foot, right? Mahal gila, right? And rental the typo here is 2-bedroom, but it's actually 3-bedroom. The rental for 3 and 4-bedroom goes for about 4,500 all the way to about 5,000. While the one next door, Jasmine Towers, it went for about 650 ringgit per square foot. Didn't really change in the last couple of years, and the rental for 3-bedroom is only 2,005. So guys, when people come and tell you if you buy new condo, you can't make money from capital gains, these guys clearly are not educated enough to come and tell you. There are a bunch of properties, if you buy the right price, will be able to give you above average capital gains and also above average cash flow, right? So again, if you look at it from a data point of view, in 2013, Jasmine Towers average is about 610,000, today 675, right? But if you look at Five Stones, you can see the stark difference, right? And from a rental point of view, right? Again, Five Stones has command a 50% more premium compared to Jasmine Towers, even as of today. So, what about FACAP and what we are doing? And like I said, one of the main reasons why we love to buy new property, especially in this particular case, we are buying new property at price point the same, if not cheaper, compared to sub-sale. So normally when you buy new property, guys, you have to pay a bit of a premium, right? You pay a little bit more expensive, and sometimes you pay a lot more expensive compared to sub-sale. So in this particular case, I've got a client who bought 2 units, not one, 2 units, basically dual key units, guys, dual key units. And this dual key units is priced at only 600,000. So basically he pays 600,000 to own 2 units in Damansara. So that's way below median lah, right? Way below. So this property, despite the quarantine, the MCO and the PKP, was able to be fully tenanted in just 2 weeks, despite lockdown. Let me repeat, guys. this property in this market today of a recession market, yes, rental not so cheap also, right? 3850, right? This property is able to be tenanted out in just 2 weeks, despite the lockdown. In fact, if not because of the lockdown, most likely we'll be able to rent it faster than 2 weeks. But he is not complaining. You can look at his message yourself. He was very, very happy with the outcome. And his installment is less than 3,000, guys. So this is a positive cash flow property, newly completed, fully tenanted in 2 weeks. This is why we love new property. Why do we love new property? Tenants love new property too, right? The pool is new, the gym is new, facilities is new, the building is pretty, and they are willing to pay a premium to stay in a nice new place compared to a 10-year-old or 20-year-old or 30-year-old condo. Okay, that's the reality, right? So and like I said, when you understand the 7 criteria properly, right, we were able to predict rental 3,800 in December 2019 when he purchased this unit, and it was only completed this year. So we were able to predict the future. So our client, Mr. K, is very happy. We told him he's going to get 3.8. He gets 3.850. More importantly, he was able to rent it out in just 2 weeks. Okay. So again, guys, if you are buying new property versus old, right? New property versus old, and you pay roughly about the same price, just buy new. It doesn't make sense to buy an old property for the same price as per the new property. I give you a simple analogy. I give you 2 options. You can buy a brand new BMW, you can buy a 5-year-old BMW, right? And you can buy those BMW new and old, both at 250,000. Which one do you buy? I'm going to give you 10 seconds to answer. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys will be thinking, bloody hell, you think I'm stupid, man? For the same price, might as well buy new property, buy new BMW, right? But the reality when it comes to property, not many people think as straightforward as that. Even though the reality, if it's for the same price, you might as well just buy new. In the case of Mr. K just now, which is our client, he's able to buy 2 units in a prime Damansara, Kota Damansara to be exact, dual key, right? For 600,000. So that means price per unit is only 300,000, and it's new property. So no capital, positive cash flow, tenanted within 2 weeks, right? He's a very, very happy man. Now, so in summary, guys, now, if you want to buy a new property versus old, make sure that you don't pay more maximum 30% premium. So I give you an example, right? If you are buying a new property for 600,000 and then you have old property, right, currently selling at 300,000. So old property is half price. New property is double the price, right? Just buy old property, right? If it's the same class, condo versus condo, old condo versus new condo, just buy old condo for 300,000. But if your new property is 500,000, right, and your old condo is 400,000, you'll be better off buying new. Okay, because as long as your premium is not more than 30%, you should always buy new. Because your rental is normally 30 to 50% higher. Okay, so like I said, it's a no-brainer if you can buy it at the same price as per the old. In our case, in our client's case, Mr. K is able to buy 2 units for 600,000 in Kota Damansara. It's a no-brainer deal for him, right? So he went and buy, and today property is completed, tenanted within just 2 weeks. Now, when do you actually buy subsale and auction? So I'm going to give you a simple rule. Okay. Now, you should buy new property if you can get 20% discount onwards. To me, in today's environment, right? You buy new property if you can get 20% discount onwards. You buy subsale property if your discount is about 20 to 30%. So it must be cheaper compared to new lah. If the same price, don't bother, just buy new, right? Lelong, you must buy at even far more discount. So for me personally, I will not look at Lelong unless it's 50% discount onwards. No 50% discount, don't talk to me about Lelong. Sub-sale 40% for me personally, right? And new, I'm looking at 20 to 30%. So that's my guide, okay? So, like I said, primary market or new property can make money, sub-sale can make money, auction also can make money if you actually enter at the right price and of course at the right set of discount. Right, so these are basically properties that we are buying as of today. And just to give you a sense, right, can you actually find new property at a price point which is about the same or even cheaper compared to sub-sale, right? And the reality here is that you can find these properties if you look hard enough, right? So, for example, let me put my laser pointer up, right? The first property, right? A sub-sale property in that area is selling for about 900,000 for a 3-bedroom, and we are buying at 600,000. So we are paying 40% cheaper compared to sub-sale. Lelong also 700,000. So we are buying cheaper than Lelong. We are actually buying cheaper than sub-sale. So obviously we buy new. On top of that, you buy Lelong, you buy sub-sale, you have to put 10% down payment, you have to pay legal fees, etc. This particular case, our booking is only RM5,000 saja. Right? So like I said, no brainer. Right? And then this one, the other grade A property we are buying 30% cheaper compared to sub-sale. Lelong also cannot get this price. Right? So, and the third property we are buying, this one is a bit more crazy. The cash flow isn't as good as the first two because the first two is grade A property, the best property. This one is grade B. So the one on top can get RM1,500 positive cash flow. This one only RM200 lah. But this one, you buy this property, you are going to be paid 100,000 cash back. So you get 100,000 cash. And top of that, it is still 10% cheaper compared to sub-sale. And then you've got the grade B, which is RM300 per month cash flow. But at the same time, it also gives you 130,000 cash back. Not only you don't have to pay to buy this property, you are being paid to buy this property and still get positive cash flow, right? So that's how good the property that we are buying is today. So for those who are thinking, no lah Faizul, doesn't make sense. How to buy new property cheaper compared to sub-sale? Guys, we are doing it day in, day out. Our clients are buying these properties day in, day out. Don't tell me it cannot be done. It only cannot be done if you didn't do your homework, you didn't look hard enough. Okay? So, to recap, guys, right? The next time you buy your property, make sure you adhere to the discount that I mentioned. New, 20%. Sub-sale is 20 to 30% minimum. Lelong should be 40 to 50% minimum, right? So make sure you understand what is the premium of paying new versus old. Like I said, you buy property whereby if the premium of new property not more than 30%, you always buy new. There's no point buying sub-sale because your rental is normally at least 20, 30, 40, 50% higher. Okay, doesn't make sense to buy sub-sale if the premium is not more. In our case, whereby we are able to buy new cheaper than sub-sale, then no-brainer lah. In your case, if you can't fund those things, even if you pay a little bit of a premium, 10, 20, maximum 30%, you buy new. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the learning. Our next video will be talking about median. So median is a real, what I would call the guide to know what is the right price point that you would have to buy into any area to make sure that you don't lose money. So I'll see you in the next video, inshallah. Assalamualaikum. Take care.